Today we've got a weird one that might get me in trouble, or it will just make me endlessly cry and you'll see a meltdown on cam. Let me introduce you to Pete Monzingo. Pete is an absolutely fascinating human being because he was born into a family of dwarfs. I have never heard of this. His mother and his father are both dwarfs, but he is not. Pete has 21 million subscribers on YouTube and 14 million followers on TikTok. He recently made kind of an odd video.
Even though I'm from a dwarf family, I won't be having a dwarf child.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine.
It's just really crazy to say out loud because I have no idea what that means. Like, I don't know what an average sized family would even feel like.
Right off the bat, I don't think that Pete has any ill intentions in this video, but how a lot of people are taking it is, what do you mean it's bad that you can't have a dwarf child? Because there's two sides to it. He talks about how sometimes he feels like he's left out of what the entire family is experiencing. Like, he wants to be a dwarf so he can understand the struggles of his family, and I completely understand that. I've seen videos of his family and like family photos, and every single person is a dwarf. So if you were to grow up in that household or in that situation, I understand having so much empathy that you want to join their struggle. What I think is kind of a slippery slope is being upset that you can't have a dwarf child. I know for a fact that dwarves have very horrible experiences growing up, whether that be health-wise or socially. It's a fucking nightmare. And again, this entire video that I'm making today is not a dig at Pete or his family, and I will end up talking about his brother, who I think really needs to make some changes in how he's doing social media, but I don't necessarily know if it's his fault. He also says something like,
it's just really crazy to say out loud because I have no idea what that means. Like, I don't know what an average sized family would even feel like.
I think it would be the exact same. I understand that that's what you're used to and that's who you love. But I've learned very fucking quickly that when you're on social media and you say something like that about health or anything along those lines, you have to be very gentle. An average sized family would feel the exact same way internally as a dwarf family. And I think when you're saying things like that, it can come across as like, what the fuck are you talking about? I absolutely love an explanation video, and I'll keep playing it because he actually says some really informative things that I had no clue about.
If my parents are dwarves, why can't I pass it on?
Let me explain.
They're off.
I had a 75% chance of being a little person. Instead, I beat all the odds and I got to the finish line first. Thanks, Mom.
I do think that the editing is a little much. Like, when we're editing your face onto the face of a little person and like making screaming noises at the size of you as a baby, like, I can't even imagine what this woman went through. But I firsthand have understood that when you start to make too many jokes about health or things that you've gone through, then your audience starts to think, oh, well, this is just normal, and now I'm going to start to make jokes about it. And that's where we get into a very disgusting part of the internet, which I'll talk about later, where his half brother, his comment section is filled with sexualizing his daughters, bullying them, saying that they need to die, and I don't know. I might have a hot take on that.
Sorry, dwarves. So I got literally all the recessive genes. Dwarfism is a dominant gene, meaning this horse doesn't have any of these other horses' traits, so it can't pass down what it doesn't have. So that means I have the same odds as you to have a dwarf child, which is 0.004% chance.
You're not really fun. You just...
I mean, unless I have a baby with a dwarf.
I don't know. I feel like this just seems odd. I understand, like, filming content and then as you're filming content, you're like, oh, I don't think I really meant to say that, and now it's biting me in my ass, and now I'm kind of stuck in this fucking statement. I think I understand that he wants to add to his family, but there are a lot of other people who may be dwarfs who don't have like a loving, huge family situation, and they talk about their childhood being an absolute nightmare because of the way that they have been brought into this world.
I mean, unless I have a baby with a dwarf, but it's so weird because I would feel like that's a family member, I think.
What? Okay, I mean, to me, Very, very odd takes. There's a lot of people in the comments who are like, is there any chance that you could clarify this? Again, it was 18 hours ago, whatever. But you can't look at a dwarf without thinking of a family member, and then you wouldn't want to fuck a dwarf because it could be like, there's just some odd things going on here. From what I've heard, dwarfism is not a fun thing. Like if he said something along the lines of like, my kid won't have blue eyes or something that doesn't fully affect the outlook on your life, then I guess that's more understandable. But dwarfism is kind of fucking scary. From what I understand, people with achondroplasia are living in pain a lot. And I would actually love to speak to somebody who has this, because to me, I don't think I fully understand it. I don't think anybody who doesn't have achondroplasia can understand it fully. So just putting it out there, if you are in financial need and you're in the middle of a health crisis, or you're dealing with chronic illness, or you have achondroplasia and you need money for treatments, medication, whatever, please, please, please apply for the Never Stop Fund in the link below. That is my nonprofit. That is my child. There's also a form to apply to be a volunteer. And also you can donate if you feel so inclined. Right now we're working on getting testimonials. In the past, I think almost 30 people who we've been able to give money to monthly for the last 3 years. We're going to finally have more legitimacy, and your donations only help that more. We're doing a website redesign. We're making sure that Never Stop Clothing is up and running. So if you have any interest in helping people in need, it goes directly into people's PayPals within seconds of being chosen, and it benefits them a lot. I have never taken money from Never Stop. Hannah has never taken money from Never Stop. Your money goes to people in need. We're not the Red Cross where we've got people making $500,000 a year. I have only put in my own money and taken a loss on this because I want it to work. Now, recently, I have learned about something called double dwarfism, and that is when you have two parents who have dwarfism and they have a child, there's a 25% chance that a baby would be born with double dwarfism, and that is fatal for the child. On social media, there's a lot of people who aren't dealing with this discussing like if you should even think about reproducing, if that's a possibility. I don't know any of it. If you've ever dealt with it or known anybody who has dealt with this, I'm curious what your thoughts are, because I can't even fathom having a take on this. What I do have a problem with is, one, posting your children online at an age where they can't consent to being put online, and two, putting your children online, receiving death threats, having people sexualize the kids, and not only not deleting the videos that those comments are on, and not deleting those comments, but rather continuously uploading more content. So one of the first videos that I saw was this one.
Can I color?
No.
All right, what color? Oh, over there? Okay, I got told.
It's just dad and daughter hanging out. This is the one who I believe, I mean, goodness gracious, I've only heard this through comments, who has double dwarfism, and there's another sister who has just dwarfism. He posts equally with both of them, so it's not like one is being posted over the other, I don't believe, but I think the act of posting these fucking kids is a problem, especially when you get comments like, holy fucking shit, what is that? Poor kid. I just don't know how someone can have kids knowing they'd have health issues. I just think it's cruel. Jesus Christ, the jump scare. It is every single comment. And then you get one or two where it's like, your guys' dynamic is so sweet. What about this one on TikTok? It has 13 million views. How do you carry your kids? Let's see. How do you carry your kids? And it's just him picking his kids up and walking them around and having a dandy old time. How do we think the comments are? Supportive? 13 million views on TikTok specifically. Instagram Reels and TikTok are always the worst. Well, this one was 50-50. He carries them like every father should do, with love and fun. I really don't know how I feel about this. Just because you can doesn't mean you should gets a whole new meaning. Like all other parents, these questions you get still blow my mind. And then you start to scroll down and there's a whole lot. I just remembered I have to watch Willow again soon. Honestly, mixed reactions. But the problem is, if these people didn't have achondroplasia, it would just be a normal video that people would be happy with because they're dealing with something that you can physically see. I mean, nobody can just shut the fuck up. What about this one? When Nana visits. We're bringing it back. What are they gonna do on date night? What's going to be their fun activity? And then in the comment it says, what should we do? What should you do? I don't know. Well, here's the thing. Nobody in the comments actually gave them date night suggestions. It was more stop reproducing. How do you drive? What's on the couch? Dang, there's a whole bunch of them, for Christ's sake. Stop reproducing. Post this on IG Reels. I mean, that's great. You know what's awesome? He is posting a lot of shit on IG Reels, and I'll go to that right now. It's a fucking hellhole. Honestly, just on a fucking human level, I don't know why you continue to post your kids. I wanna turn the whole thing upside down. I'll find the thing. I feel like these should just be videos that you keep in the family. Kids don't need to be online. You know, family vlogging, family influencers should not be a thing. But nobody feels bad that the kids are being unconsensually put on Instagram Reels, which is known for like the most hateful comments possible. People are more just mad that they're existing. Stop making kids, bro. She will not live a normal life in this cruel world. Stop reproducing. You could have adopted a child, bro. She's suffering. Don't do that shit ever again. You know the comments are coming, right? And I think that's the question that I have for Pete's brother, Andrew. He's a 5th grade teacher, so he posted this video with his daughter.
Count 2, guilty. Count 3, guilty.
Oh, biscuits.
Oh, biscuits is
guilty.
right.
Count.
I mean, these kids are fucking adorable. And every single comment, and it's really heartbreaking to me, like 22,000 likes. That's not a small number, especially in Instagram Reels likes. Almost half the amount of likes that the video has in total. She can't even fully put her arms behind her back, dog. Bro could disable his kids, but not his comments. Fucking GIFs, high school's gonna be rough. Is it aware of its surroundings? Please stop polluting the gene pool. And a dude with a gun as his profile picture. And then I was looking through more comment sections of theirs, and I saw this one that says, he's a happy little fellow. He doesn't seem to let anything or anyone bother him. I'm glad that it seems like these things aren't bothering him, but you don't know if it will bother your kids or not yet, because they're not old enough to fully understand how many people have seen them at such a young age. If you were posted at that young age and you had all these comments about you, and then you finally become old enough to get a phone or have a digital footprint, you look up your father online. What does dad do? He always says he's a content creator, whatever, and every single comment is how you shouldn't be alive. What the fuck are we doing? Is the content that important? So I have 2 thoughts and suggestions. Either stop posting them all together, which I think I would probably prefer. Make your own content. That's great. Blur out their faces, maybe. Give them some sort of anonymity so that when they grow up, they can live a fucking normal life, while also growing up to deal with achondroplasia. Like, they already have that problem that they've been dealt. Don't give them other ones. Or completely filter every single comment. You have to put in the work somehow. The fact that you are not deleting comments, blocking people, restricting people is insane. Pete, the big influencer, the half brother of Andrew, has enough money to be like, hey, here's some like moderators. Here's an agency that I'm going to put you with to just look over all this shit, because you don't need to see this. You just need to live your fucking life. Because here's what happens when you filter every single comment. Uncles who bond with their niece as a baby. Are bonded for life. Okay? And every single comment. Look at how happy he makes her. Uncles are the best. So happy you have her. The way you were swinging her, she was so happy. She's going places. She's a beautiful young lady. Because you start to look like a real piece of shit when the top comment, are your kids vajayjays pink, isn't deleted. Hey man, if that's not the comment to delete, you know, death threats, whatever, but sexualizing your fucking 2 daughters and you don't delete that shit, I'm frustrated. I mean, what else should I fucking think? Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, then please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye.